ability to manifest things that nobody could possibly believe. That has been my secret my whole life. I'll give you my spin gym right here. Because I grew up with nothing, okay? Really quick. And I'm going to make this a very short little, highly motivating speech. Everyone good with that? Say aye? Yeah, yes. That's about kind of a bad aye. This crowd's going, I'm standing, I hate you. Say aye. Aye. Yeah, not kidding. You don't gross $2.5 billion by going, I'd like it. You just don't. So I've had this crazy sense of what manifestation was before it became a thing, or the secret was written. I understand the law of attraction because I am the law of attraction. I'm the law of attractive. No, I never said that, but it's cute, right? That's a good branding thing. But I grew up as a little girl who, unfortunately, at 8 years old, had a broken nose. I ran into a baseball bat. I sucked my thumb. I had teeth that went in 4 different directions. I had braces for 8 years, from 8 to 16. How about you take away somebody's girlhood and their pride by doing that? And then I had frizzy hair because I lived in Long Island. And my mom, God rest her soul, was 260 pounds my whole life because we ate to show love. We ate to show pain. We ate to just because it was Tuesday, we just ate. And we ate food that was crappy. We ate food that started with McDonald's, Arby's, Kentucky Fried Chicken that all came to town. And the crazy thing was, when I was 14 years old, my dad slipped and cut his hand pretty much off in a printing press accident. He had 15 operations and spent 3 years in the hospital. Hello, Miss Veronica. That was my beginning, my high school years, and it really kind of shaped that I didn't think the world was fair. Number 1 was a limiting belief. 2, money was a finite thing. You only had a little bit of it. Couldn't possibly be abundant. I didn't know that back then because when your paycheck ran out, we were really hungry. I know that the funny thing about being in a house like this, the house down the street was only one in my town, but it had 2 chimneys on a half an acre, and you could see it from my dad's hospital room. And I used to think, wow, what is Halloween like there for them? What is Christmas like for them? What I neglected to think and remember and realize is that my Christmases and Hanukkahs, because we're Jewish, but I thought Santa Claus was not prejudiced against Jewish kids. I like getting presents. They were filled with love, even though they were not filled with money and material things. But I could watch movies and television and realize that other people were doing other things. And I spent a lot of my time dreaming. I was very smart, which made me not very popular. I was the loner kid that you saw reading a book, kind of goofy. High school, I didn't even know we had a football and a baseball team. And then the funniest thing started to happen. I had this vision, this internal vision that there was more and that we could get more and do more and be more. And then my mom said, hey, kiddo, I know you got all those dreams, but we don't have money for college. Sorry, I know you're top of your class, but we can't afford it. However, there was this pageant that you could enter called the Miss Teenage America pageant. I'm like, Mom. She said, no, it's not a beauty pageant. It's a written test, a talent, and a personality, and you have those things. And my dad's doctor overheard her say this. And he actually offered me a free nose job. He fixed my crooked, goofy nose. At 16, the braces actually came off my teeth, and I had teeth and a smile, and Farrah Fawcett's poster was everywhere, and I kept going. I really did. Just going, look, I have teeth. I lost a few pounds, got my hair cut, straighteners came out. I started ironing my hair. Remember those days where you iron your hair? And I entered the Miss Teenage New York pageant. I walked into a room with 350 other little girls holding my dad's good hand. And I had a vision, and I said, you know what? I could do this. I have no reason why. I don't know how to do it. I don't even maybe deserve it, but I could do this. And I could do this for him. And I did. It was 3 weeks of trying out in competition. I never thought about how awkward I thought. Didn't tell anybody in my school I was doing this. And then standing on that stage, and I see this picture. Here's the crazy thing. There were 4 girls in the semifinals. We were in the middle of the mall, Roosevelt Field Mall. That's where the finals were. And I was wearing a hand-me-down bridesmaid's dress. But it had a diamond belt, and I felt like a princess. And I kept saying to the judges that were right like you guys are in my head, I'm winning this. This is mine. And you look at that picture, and you can see my little face. I offer you a challenge. Ever watch those races? Running races, like 100 meter, 50 meter, whatever that is, they pan the contestants as they're there. I very often try to bet to see who'll win. When you look in their eyes, you look in their faces, you know who won because they've already won. It's not, oh, maybe. No, they've already done it. They train very hard to that moment, and all you need to do is let go and what? Go. And I did that at that moment, and they called my name. And there's lots of other fun stories that I'm going to share with you. I'm writing a book now called The 25 Stories I Don't Have Time to Tell on Stage. But it's true. I mean, one of the quick stories I just realized was my attachment to money. They gave me $500 to buy a wardrobe for the Miss Teenage America pageant in Tulsa, Oklahoma with Bob Hope on NBC. I won. And I went in and I found this gaucho outfit. Who's old enough to remember gauchos? Yeah. It was $100. Really bad math. I only had $400 left and I freaked out. I'm like, well, if I buy 4 more outfits, I don't have any more money. I couldn't understand the concept of money because I didn't have it. But I knew it wasn't going to be there if I spent it. And I'm like, shopping for clothes at the highest moment of my life made me so unhappy that I set out to figure out, how do I figure this out? And I started to believe what got me to win this in the first place. I said I could. I came to Los Angeles, and I love the fact that Bill is here. In fact, there's moments of people in this room that are just my entire history, and how good to have made relationships that last for a girl who had no friends growing up. Not a joke about that. I was a lonely, awkward girl who thought that little girls who looked like Barbie with blonde hair and who were pretty had so much more than I thought I had nothing to offer. Anybody think they're not quite enough? Yeah, I lived my life that way, which is such a shame because I look back and I was actually kind of cute. I had great headshots, but I didn't know it. It didn't matter how cute you think somebody is if they don't know it, if you don't realize how much pain they're carrying inside, right? So I actually started a company, and this is, how about the dichotomy of wanting things? Long story, but after I graduated college, I started my first business called Stripogram, delivering singing and stripping telegrams. I actually kind of must have hated my overweight body enough. It was kind of chunky, and people made fun of me. But I'd want to embarrass you more than anything else. I'm happy to take my clothes off because your wife's going to get you and your girlfriend's going to over there and everyone's going to watch you be embarrassed, and I love that. And I did. And I found this crazy sense of power. And then I did a lot of those, so I had a lot of money. I came out to California. I bought a yellow Toyota, right, with cash. And I said, I want to live in a mansion. I didn't say I want to. I know what I said. I said, I'm going to live in a mansion. This is how weird that is. I opened the LA Times, looked on then there was a mansion for rent. He was one of the roommates. This is 30 some odd years ago. And he'll tell you the story that they didn't want any girls because they thought they were messy. I went in, and God knows, I don't know how I did this. We had 4 roommates total, and we lived at the mansion. If you go over to Topanga, right where Mulholland intersects, a big pink mansion, that was our home. I came to LA and I lived in a mansion. I got to tell you, that's the way to start. And it wasn't always good, but I will tell you it was pretty amazing. And I've done lots of theater and movies and television with people in this room. I remember Amy and I, when we were young, just dreamed of being superstars. And it's crazy because you don't necessarily know how to do that. I put my faith in a lot of other people as an actress. Jeff Delman was one of my oldest friends too. We wrote movies together. We could have been that Academy Award. We're probably all that talented, but sometimes the luck of the dice, who you know, who you sleep with, who you don't sleep with. That's a big thing. All the pain that we carry, all the limiting beliefs that we carry. I learned sometimes the best way for me to audition is to stop being me. If I wasn't good enough, maybe I should pretend to be somebody else, like Audrey Hepburn. I got my first Broadway show because in my head I was Audrey Hepburn in Roman Holiday. Because I knew if Forbes Riley showed up, or used to be called Francine Forbes, if I showed up, I would talk my way out of it. I was a little chatterbox. And I wanted to impress you so much that I would say all kinds of things. I would talk really fast because I'm from New York and I wanted you to like me. And when I didn't get it, they were like, huh. I said, well, how would Audrey Hepburn? See, Audrey Hepburn in Roman Holiday is a princess. Only she escapes for the night and she doesn't tell anybody that she's a princess. And so princesses walk a little different and they carry themselves differently. And I'm like, you don't know I'm a princess, but I am. And when I stood on that stage to audition for a play with Christopher Reeve, I waited for them to speak because that's what people below me do. I had a very different energy. And a lot of this work has led me up to something that I am incredibly proud of. I do a thing called the Forbes Factor. Because I have learned, and Ms. Deborah, who just went woo, was a recipient. Look at her face, by the way. I completely changed this woman in 45 minutes on stage in front of everybody. I will have you up in a little bit to share a little bit about what I did. But I'm going to venture to say by looking at you that most of us here have been hurt, stepped on, squashed, told we weren't good enough. Why were you? Who are you? Who do you think you are? Or somebody molested us, touched us, and truly hurt us. I've done this work now for almost 12 years. And I will tell you, there's people in this room, I have students, raise your hand if you're a student of mine, a real student of mine, a year-long student. I've got 4 of them right here who have gone through some serious, massive coaching to become so much more because somebody may have died or hurt them or thought they couldn't do it.